basically I'm going to talk about a project, a BeautifulSoup. How do you scrap the web? How do you crawl and scrap the web? And we'll scrap using BeautifulSoup, which is a package. There are other packages as well, which I'm going to discuss, like Scrappy. And then we'll scrap IMDb web page, fetch streaming tweets from Twitter. That's also one thing that I'm going to do, and perform sentiment analysis, which will be of very basic in nature. Okay. So, okay. I'm sure you would all understand what is web scraping. It's more of hitting a website and pulling all its information. For example, if I go to, let's say, IMDb. Let's say I go to IMDb and I want to scrap this one opening this week. Which are the movies which are opening this week, and movies and show time in theaters, something. I mean, let's say, for example, or Google Finance, or okay, for all. Just wanted to show you something, or which one do we scrap? Reddit.com. Let's say if I want to scrap all these details, right? Either be it IMDb, be it Reddit, etc. All this, right? It's easy to do that, or even Google Finance. Let's say, for example, like I go to all these stocks and I want to scrap the web page of the stocks, right? I want to pull out all the range, the opening, the volume, the shares, the prices, the P/E ratios, etc. It's easy to do that. It's not that difficult. And using BeautifulSoup, you can do that. It's so basically, web scraping is method of pulling data from structured or non-structured data, HTML, that makes up the web page. That's one. Most websites do not offer this functionality to copy the data which they display on their website, right? So there is no way, if you were not to be scrapping the web, there is no way you can pull all this information, right? Otherwise, what you have to do is you have to go and copy and paste each of these, copy, paste. Let's say this for IBM, for SAP, go ahead, copy, paste, so on and so forth. So it's a tedious task. Let's say I have 1,000 such companies. I mean, are you going to do this forever? No, right? You'll get bored at some point in time. So best way is to scrap the web. Imagine getting all the data from Google Finance page to know the historic information about multiple companies. That's what I say. It's a tedious task if you have to do it manually. And also the values keep changing, right? Let's say I want to check the status of SAP or IBM or TCS or whatever, right? Whichever company, time to time. How do I do that? I cannot go ahead and copy every time. So that's why I need to scrap this way. And website scrapping is legal as long as no attempt is made to change the article. One, should not try to override access or play with security mechanism. Many of these companies allow you to scrap, but until a certain number of information. Let's say, for example, if you go to Google Finance, they will allow you to scrap it, let's say, for 100 companies, and then they will close your connection. There is workaround. There are certain other workarounds, but generally you should not try to override access, or they might ask you as to why do you want to do it. And then if you give a valid reason, if it is not for commercial purpose, etc., they normally tend to allow you. Okay, but most of the web page will not have this filter, but some of them might have. Respect the fine line between collecting information versus stealing it. So you'll have to understand what's collecting and what's stealing. And if it is for commercial purpose, it's definitely stealing. So that is why you cannot do it. But for your own analysis, for your own analytics, it's no big deal. You can just pull out information and just do whatever you want to do with. If it is allowed in website copyright disclosure statement that legally protects their website information, then you'll have to be a little bit sensitive about it. What is visible in the pages are mostly regarded as data that is allowed for scrapping. So generally the norm is, if it is if we are allowed to see something in a website, we are allowed to scrap. That's how we look at things. Okay. Ugly side of illegal scrapping. So there have been many people who have scrapped websites and gone to jail as well. Okay, but then not to scare you, this is only while if you're trying to use it commercially. Until unless it's commercial and in exact nature. So you can pull those information, but if you do not display what you're pulling, then it's still fine. So basically you can scrap the web pages and understand that you cannot use that data for commercial purpose. I mean, if it is if you have to use that for commercial purpose, make sure that you read the disclosure. Okay, and even then, if you are not sure, just send a mail to that particular organization and then let them come back to you. Okay. Web scrap, why? Many companies do not provide API like Facebook and Twitter, etc. Web scraping is the only alternative to get data from them. One, a quick, easy, and free way to gather data with considerable less effort. Right? You just scrap the web. It's very easy way to gather huge data. Save manual effort of copying and storing data. If done manually, only way to keep them is in text format, which again needs to be converted to JSON or XML format for further processing. So there are a lot of problem if you just manually copy and paste, etc. So that's why you need web scraping. Web scraping, Python has numerous libraries for approaching this type of problem. Okay, so the one that I'm talking, it's about BeautifulSoup, and it's one of the more favorite packages that people tend to use. So there are other web scraping packages like Pattern, Request, Scrappy, Mechanize, and BeautifulSoup is the one which I'm going to explain to you today. In this course, we are covering BeautifulSoup, which is most popular of the lot, but this package can work together too. So in many places, you might have to have both of these 2 or 3 packages working together. So I was explaining to you guys about this HTML tags. So this defines a table, open square, this one, what's this called? Less than, greater than symbol. Inside that, if you write something, it's table defines a table, table tag defines a table, TH defines a header cell in the table, TR defines a row in a table, TD defines a cell in a table. So that's how HTML is organized. So basically, if you go and check in any of your websites, if you say inspect element, you see here all HTMLs and stuff, all the scripts. Okay, so basically we will hit this thing here and then pull the data. Okay, so this is the basic structure. You have H4 simple table, row 1 column 1, row 1 column 2, row 2 column 1. This is TR, right? Table row. TD is table, defines a row in it, defines a cell in a table. Okay. So this is how basically HTML is organized. See, if you look at the actual source code of the page, you'll be able to understand that. And installation. So if you run Debian or Ubuntu, you can install BeautifulSoup with the system package manager. But that's for Debian and Ubuntu. For us, what you can do is you can either go to this page. Okay, so basically that package is not available here in this particular URL. So what you have to do is you have to go here and then install BeautifulSoup. Okay, just go here, search for BeautifulSoup, click on this, and then say install. Okay. So moving on, now to install from PY, which we are not normally going to do, we would install this from PyCharm. So nothing much, you do not have to do this, or even in Windows, right? So what I normally do is I say easy install, and I can do this. even in install, even in Windows I can do this, or I can also say pip and just do this. Even in Windows, it should work for all of us. If you have downloaded this source tarball and want to install manually, we know all this, right? So, okay, refer to this location to avoid any installation related error. So you can go to this particular location and see as to what it says. This will give you installation related details. Okay, so you can go here and then refer to how do you want to install it if you get any error. Okay, and even on how to use it, you can just go ahead and browse it. It's a beautiful documentation. You can use this in order to learn BeautifulSoup. BeautifulSoup itself is a 600-page book. Okay, every package, almost every advanced package in Python itself is a big book. So, if you have to start learning, it's if you go here and start learning, this is where I started learning. Okay, it took me 2 days when I initially started web scraping to learn everything. Not everything, I would not say. Even today, maybe I know only 50–60% of it. Okay, so it's a big stuff, right? That I mean, if I need it, I just go ahead and start looking for it, right? Unless I need it, I don't just go and study. So if you need it, you can go and start with this crummy.com software and start understanding BeautifulSoup. I'm also going to explain to you as to how that is, how it works, and maybe you can go here for follow-up. Okay, now let me show you something. So, module 10, let me open my notes so that I do not have to type everything. Okay, so, and let me also open idle. So in this location, right, I have an HTML called simple.html, this one. So let me just open it. Okay, it's been imported. Now what I do here is I'm just opening the file, okay, which is in this particular location and loading it into BeautifulSoup. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. See here, I imported BeautifulSoup from this package BS4, which is BeautifulSoup 4. This is the latest version of BeautifulSoup. Okay, we had BeautifulSoup 1, 2, and right now it's 4. It has more features, and that's why I have downloaded this. Okay, so basically I'm doing two things here. First of all, I'm from this package BS4 BeautifulSoup 4, I'm importing BeautifulSoup, which is a method there, and in that BeautifulSoup I'm loading my HTML. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Now what's there in my HTML? Let me just show you. So this is a simple HTML I have, okay, and I want to scrap it. I want to show it to you as to how it works. Now let me go back here. If I say soup, I just say print soup, okay, it gives me the complete HTML. Okay, so whatever HTML I had in my file simple.html, whatever I had in my simple.html, this HTML is now loaded into my soup command. Okay, here you go. Now if you see this, if I say soup.prettify, many a times it so happens that your your HTML is not properly, it's not pretty, it's not aligned. So your HTML can be something like this, right? Head, and then you have your body here, and then the P ends and P here. So like this, okay? You might have your HTML like this. So even in that case, if you say print right, if you say prettify, actually it's not showing properly, but here if I say, one second. Instead of typing, I just want to copy and paste it. Okay. If I say print soup.prettify, it will just prettify it, put it in proper alignment, and show me as to what the HTML is. Make sense, guys? So basically, you have learned one thing. You have learned that you need to load. See, it's not just about this one. Okay. Now you might say, how does this help me scrap a web? Which I'm going to show to you in a short while. Instead of giving this path, you can give a path URL as well. I can just imdb.com. Okay, I can do that as well, and everything will load it into my soup. And I can say soup.prettify, and then it will properly align everything, all the HTML tags, and show it to me like this. Now, after having done that, if I say print soup.html .body.contents, what does it give me? It gives me this. Okay, it's saying inside soup I have HTML, inside HTML, inside body, give me the contents. Okay, so inside my body, this is my contents. Hello students, first content, and this is my second content. Okay, so I'm just printing the first contents. Make sense, guys? Or if I say soup.html, okay, so it gives me everything starting from HTML to end HTML. If I say print soup.html.body, it will give me whatever is inside body. Okay, and if I say contents, it will give me all the contents. Okay, now if I say okay, there is print dot contents, there is no 0. Okay, there is 1. Okay, so basically this is the property of a package, right? So the way you browse this is you say soup.html. See, it's nothing. Okay, it's very simple. As soon as you have loaded this data into Beautiful Soup, you can browse it like this. Soup.html will give you completely this one. Soup.head will give you this one. Soup.html.head. Now let's see that as well. Okay. See, head will give you from here to here. Soup.title will give you from here to here. Right? You load everything into Beautiful Soup, and then see the way I'm traversing it. It's very easy. It's extremely easy. Okay, and then let's say I want to go to body. Soup.html dot after HTML your body, right? So okay. So basically you are able to browse the content of HTML. Okay, we are good at that. Now let's look on to as to how do we browse the value. Okay, so let's do that. So basically okay, so I'm saying print soup.getText. I'm getting all this text. Okay, that's the first step, and I've given plus as an indicator. If I just remove that, then see this is how it is. Okay, I can just strip everything, and everything will come in one line. So basically I'm getting all the text within the tags. Now let me also tell you as to how to browse it further. I can also do this. Soup.getText and then strip equal to true. Basically I'm stripping everything into one line. Okay, This is pipe as the separator between two words or two sentences, and I'm stripping out all the white spaces. Now, just a second. Okay, now soup dot title dot parent. We have seen this. Okay, there is one more command which I want to show to you as to what that is. If I say print soup dot title, it gives me title. Okay, and now let me show you this one. Let's say I want to move from title to something else, right? What happens when I do soup dot title dot next? Oops. Soup dot title dot next. There is no next. So basically, see here, if you go and look into this HTML, right? If I say soup dot title dot next, so there is nothing within it, right? So there is no two tags here, so there is no next. Now I'll show you as to where do I use next. This is one more interesting command. Okay, so you know what will get soup dot body dot p dot. If I say soup dot body dot p, I get this, right? So let me explain. Soup dot body dot p should give me this one. Okay, so it's giving me hello students, right? But then I have one more p here. Okay, so if I say dot next, an integer is required. So basically 0 or 1, I'll have to mention 0 or 1. Okay, this is not what I wanted to show you. Soup next of 0. There is nothing in next of 0, next of 1. So basically it's still not going there. I'm not getting a good example to show it to you. Okay. Okay, when I come to it, I'll just show it to you when I'm browsing the IMDb web page, right? That's when I'm going to show to you as to what's the functionality of next. Right now, I'm not getting the right context to give you an example here. This is not what I wanted to explain. Okay, now moving back to here. Okay, let's say I get soup.body.p. I get this, and if I say soup.body.p dot string, soup.body.p dot soup.body.p. Okay, there are a couple of these, so you'll not just get it. Hold on. So if I say soup.body.p.next.next.string, what's the problem here? It says Unicode gets sliced, print soup.body, an integer is required. I know there seems to be some problem with this. Let me just browse it in this page. Okay. Now soup.prettify, I don't want this. Let me comment it out here. Okay, so basically I don't know what's the problem with my idle. Okay, sometimes idle is really, I don't know, I mean sometimes it does not work. So just look at this here. Okay, when I say soup.body.p.next.next.string, I get hello students. So if I go here, if I say soup.body.p.next is here, okay, next of next is here, and next dot string is here. Okay, if I say soup.body.p.string, I should get something. Soup.body.p.name, I'm just getting, just look at this, okay? When I say soup.body.p.name, when I say soup.body.p.name will just give me p, okay? But if I say p.string, right now there is so much, there is no p.string as yet. So if I say p.next.string, it gives me first paragraph, okay? If I want the second paragraph, I can p.next.string. Hello students. And if you want to strip it, of course you know, right? Okay, you're stripping the white spaces. So this is how you can browse through a basic HTML page. That's beautiful soup for you guys. Okay, that's what has been explained here. You can go ahead and have a look at this. It's pretty easy. The way I've explained, that's how it has been explained here as well. If you do string, you get the value, right? If you do name, you get the tag. Okay. Okay. How to print second P? Let's do that. Okay, it's there. I think. Yeah. I think I have to have opened it. Okay. Now you see. Now if you go here, this is basic HTML, right? Second P. You want, this is basic HTML or 2. So what you do is soup.html.body.p.next sibling. If you do next sibling, you move on to the next P here. Okay. Now if you do next sibling dot string. Okay. Where am I? If I say next sibling dot string, or if I say get text, it's again these are at the end of the day these packages, right? So it has no object attributes text. It's a next sibling p dot next sibling body dot p dot next sibling. I go onto here dot string. Okay, just HTML body dot contents, and just give me a second. I'll just copy this. Hello students. No, this is not a one. Next dot again next siblings. Just give me a second, okay? I'm just trying to print this in stuff and it's not showing up. So it is p dot next sibling. So inside this, once I'm inside this, I should be able to do a dot. No suggestion. This string should have given me ideally, but there are two. So next sibling. So once I am here, and then I say next. This basic HTML. Where is that? Okay. Using, if I just say next sibling, right? If I just say next sibling, I'm able to browse it through this HTML. Now if I do it dot next, I just get the basic HTML. Okay. I can say in dot next, and then I go on for 2. I can say dot next. I get 2. So this is how you browse it. Make sense? You have been able to browse to the HTML page. There are easier way to do it. You might be like, it's a little complicated. There are easier way to do it, and which we'll certainly see sometime. Okay, but I'm just showing you at a basic level as to how do you browse an HTML page. Pretty simple actually. It's just object by object. You can use next sibling, you can use next, and just go on and continue to browse for a very long time. I mean, how much ever you have P's, you have tags, whatever HTML tags that you have. It's pretty interesting actually if you start looking into it, right? So you can start by scratching website today itself. So that's what it is. That's what has been explained there. And these are all supported tag operations. No big deal. You have seen titles, title.name, title parent. So just have a look at this. These are the same that I've explained, right? There might be some better options. Yes, well, soup.p already explained you this. Find all. If I do a find all, then you get all the occurrences of p. In this case, there's a soup find all of p. It'll give all occurrences of p. There are 10 p's. It'll give all 10 p's. If you just say find, it'll just give you the first p. Okay. So if look at this here, right? If you say find all of p, it's returning a list object. Okay. When it returns a list object, how do you browse through it? It is with list index 0 or 1. So if I say soup.find all of p, okay. Now you see this list object, okay. As soon as I have a list object and it is separated by, you see, comma here. Okay. Okay. Now if you go beyond this index, it will be an error. Okay. So once you are inside the right, see, now this is how I am able to browse through the next P, or this is how I am able to browse to the next P. Okay. I say find all of P, I get all the P's, and I say 0 is the first P, 1 is the second P. Now, okay, the P. Now, while I am here, okay, I'll have to enter this again into BeautifulSoup. Now, I'll have to use regular expression in order to retrieve this, okay, which is not a good idea right now, because this is out of your soup, right? Right now, if you are, so, and one more thing to understand here, you should always be in soup, okay? Only when you are in soup, you can traverse this HTML like one tag over another, right? You can say head.soup.title.parent, soup.head, and so on and so forth. But as soon as you get a result out of it, for example, this one, right? I say soup.findAll, okay? When I say soup.findAll, I found this, but this is outside the scope of my soup, and it has become a list. So I cannot traverse a list like I have been traversing a HTML. Okay, you have to understand that. There are very subtle difference. This is list, which we cannot browse through HTML tags. But in soup, you can browse to HTML tags. Now see parent, head, and so on and so forth. Okay, to go to next previous, we have seen this. So to go to next, we use next, and to go to previous tag, we use previous. Okay, and you have seen this. I can use n number of n or next links or previous. And if you say HTML content, it will give you this, body will give this. It's the same thing. If you say head, it will give the head tag, including the content. So basically, if you see this, right? If you see soup.html.contents, okay, let me just show it to you. See, it's coming all as a list from here to here. Okay. But if you just look at this, it is html.body, right? Soup.html.content is a list, okay? And soup.html.body, when you do that, just let me show you that as well. Here you see, it's not coming as a list. So that's about navigation. It's the same thing. In sibling, we've seen this. Okay, it's the same thing. I mean, you enter any HTML. In our example, what we did was we have entered an HTML which stored in some location. So you can just directly put your HTML tags here as well, similar to this, and then see once you have put this, you get a soup.prettify and then it will properly align it. Okay. If you just say print soup, it will give you everything that you have given to your HTML tags. So if I say soup, it gives me everything. Okay. Soup.prettify, you already know it. We can pass different filters to the PS search method using find and find all. We have seen how find all works, and the good thing about find all is it find everything, store it as a list so that you can traverse. We can pass the below types: a string, a regular expression, list, boolean value, functions, etc. So you have seen this find all, right? Find all P. We just did find all P. And also there's one more thing called as compile. Using this compile, what you can do is instead of writing the same, let's say filter, right? Let's say this is a filter, okay? You want this filter to be used again and again. So what you can do is you can put this in a tag. You can say tag equal to read.compile, and then you can give B similar to this. And then instead of using this find all and compile again and again, what you can do is you can use the tag, and it will have exactly the same contents, okay? It's like you pass a regular expression objects BeautifulSoup with filter against that regular expression using its match method in this case, but the code finds all the tags whose name starts with letter B, right? If you want to use this filter condition again and again, what you can do is you can put that in re.compile and regular expression B, and then use the tag over and over again. It's more like a reusing of the code, okay? If you want to use some regular expression inside BeautifulSoup n number of times, just go ahead and compile it. Meaning you say re.compile and you give this option, store it in some tag, and use the tag. Okay, another query used to find all tags where letter L is present. Okay, so, this is nothing. You are saying for tag in find all, compile L, print tag name. So it will give you HTML title. So basically, in my case here, so I have title with L word. You have HTML, and is there anything? No. So even in my case, it's the same example. If I say re.compile, it will give me HTML and title. But compile is not used for this purpose. Okay, compile is used wherein you have to use a regular expression repeatedly, multiple times. That is where you compile your particular regular expression, store it in some tags, and then use the tag. So you can also do like if you have to pass a list. So basically, say we can pass a string, a regular expression, a list, boolean value, a function. So that's what I've done here. I'm passing a list in this case. Okay, in my find all, and I'm finding the item. If I say A and B, it'll give me everything that starts with A and B. Okay, whose tag is A and B. And here for soup find all true, that means everything will be true and all the tag name. If I say tag.name, it'll give you the tag name. Okay, so let me show it to you. I mean, let me type something. Soup.find all. Capital E, right? See here, and if you go here, you have HTML, okay, head title, body P, that's it. Head title, body P, and you have B also. Where's the? Oh yeah, you have B as well, and then you have P and then B. Yeah, that's all it's. Okay, guys, does this make sense? I'm just traversing the HTML code using a for loop. That's all. Okay, it's the same thing. Now they're all, you define a class, you're defining a function here, and using that same function in then find out. And it's the same thing. I mean, different ways doing the same stuff. Okay. So powerful find all. The find all method is one of the most common methods in BeautifulSoup. Okay. So there are a couple types of find all. One is the BeautifulSoup find all. Another is your find all of your regular expression. So find all in regular expression, I mean, in BeautifulSoup is very similar to find all of your in regular expression. Find on BeautifulSoup is very similar to that of your regular expression. So signatures find all have soup.find all title. You can pass a name argument. You can pass P title. You can pass multiple arguments, attributes arguments. It takes tags as an argument. Okay, and keyword an argument. ID equal to link to. Okay, here ID equal to second. I can pass this as an argument. You say text equal to Python text argument looks for string instead of tags, right? So basically, find all is very powerful. Okay, there are many ways to pass a value inside find all. You can have one value, multiple values, your key value pairs, your you see here multiple tags, and you're limiting it to the number 2. Works like limit in SQL or just the first 2 record types. Okay. and whether you want to recursively search for the particular data or not. So it's very powerful. One of the most powerful features of BeautifulSoup is find all. So if I say soup find all of A, it'll give me everything. It's similar to what I just showed you. Soup find all true, or if I say there is no A, is it? Yes, ref. Okay, there is no A. P. Okay. B. See here. I mean, it just finds anything and everything that you want to do. But the disadvantage with find all, one of the basic disadvantage that I would like to state here is that with find all, you can find whatever you want to, but you cannot browse it like you normally do it with BeautifulSoup. Because look at the output of find all. It's a string and it is not a BeautifulSoup type. Okay, so you'll not be able to traverse through this. So find, and then other important, some other important methods, find all next and find next as well. Okay, and all next is it will find everything starting from that point, all the next values. Find next will find you the immediate next value. Find all previous, find previous, find next sibling, right? And find previous sibling, find previous siblings. So you see the subtle difference. And go by it literally. Okay? Find next siblings and find next sibling. Find previous siblings and find previous sibling. So that's how you'll be able to iterate through the data back and forth. Formatting we discussed. And formatter equal to minimal. These are some of the formatter passing as arguments to prettify, right? Some default is formatter equal to minimal, right? It'll do minimal formatting of the strings. Formatter equal to HTML. BeautifulSoup will convert Unicode characters to HTML wherever possible. So basically, the slash sign that you saw, right? So those are Unicode characters. It will not literally interpret those into your string. But beautiful, if you say formatter equal to HTML, it will literally try to interpret that new line as a string. Okay. Formatter equal to none, BeautifulSoup will not modify strings or at all as on output. Okay, it will just leave as it is. This is the fastest option, but it will lead to BeautifulSoup generating invalid HTML at times. So you see here, get text, we have seen this, get text plus, we have seen this as well. And we have also seen this. This is one good example that I gave. That's how you open a text in BeautifulSoup. So basically, Soup's trainer, efficient way of parsing HTML document. So you see here, basically, if I am putting everything to BeautifulSoup, and then I mention a parser here. It says parse only tags A and HTML parser. I'm using HTML parser, okay? But there are other types of parser as well. Let's see that. BeautifulSoup automatically picks the best parser. It thinks to parse the HTML documents. So there are multiple parser. BeautifulSoup, we generally don't parse it. We let BeautifulSoup decide. But you can pass your parser as well as if you know which parser you want. But we can specify one of our choice depending upon the requirement. Okay. We can pass two arguments to BeautifulSoup constructor. One is HTML object and parser name. Okay. LXML ranks the parser in below order. So BeautifulSoup has its own ranking of parser. It takes LXML by default, mentioned it XML in second argument. HTML5 libraries mentioned as HTML5. You have HTML parser as well. So you see this. You can use parser something like this. Built-in parser Python mentioned as HTML. Example BeautifulSoup simple.html XML. Okay, this is how you use it. There are slight differences using different parsers for a particular HTML. Pick up one that suits the page you are scraping. And also, many a times it's good to let BeautifulSoup decide if you are not very sure about which parser you want to go with. Okay. Let me do a Reddit scrapping for you. Let me open the file. Where's that? Reddit. Okay. So basically, you see this. Reddit.com. Okay. So if you go here, you see there are a lot of links. There might be a lot of links here. If you go to inspect element, you see here href, etc. So basically, what I want to do is I want to pull out the first 10 or 20 or whatever it is, limit 10, right? I want to pull out the first 10, your URLs. Okay. So what have I done here? I've just said URL open reddit.com. I've given the path, and then I'm just putting that into my. I'm reading the HTML here. I'm just first of all I'm opening that URL, passing it as test URL, and then passing the test URL. I'm reading HTML source from there, and then I'm just closing that URL. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, I'll just show it to you. This URL lib and BeautifulSoup. These are the only two modules. I mean URL lib to read my URL and also to read the source code, HTML code, and BeautifulSoup to just scrap it. Okay, and now you see I'm just passing that HTML to my BeautifulSoup. You know why I'm passing my HTML to BeautifulSoup. You saw that, right? In my previous example, see I'm passing my HTML to BeautifulSoup so that I can scrap it. Oops. Okay, and then I say find all A and limit 10 for links in all tags that they print links.get href. Now what will this give me? Okay, I got my 10 URLs. Now I'll show you one more thing. Okay, now we'll see what each of this does. You see, it gave me an object. Okay, so whenever I'm opening a URL, it's basically translating that it opens that URL as an object here. So when I pass this to my test URL, and if I print my now read HTML, let me just run it. You see here, now I get a complete HTML. Let me just, okay. This is just to show you. Okay, this is how my HTML will look like. So if we say, now if I put this inside soup, I'm passing that soup to read HTML, I'm passing it to soup, and I still get this, okay? Right? Now let's say soup dot prettify. See here? Did it just change? This tag looks like this and this looks like this. Now which is better? Tell me. Obviously this is better, right? This is proper in proper structure, whereas this is not in structure. Right? This is much more easier to read. So that's the task of prettify, to actually make it beautiful. Now if I say now what did I tell you about find all? It returns a list. Okay, so let's see this. Let me remove this. Now you see it returned a list to me for 10 items. Okay, if I say 20, Okay, it gives me 20. Now after having done that, what I do here is I'm going through each of the stacks. Now this is a list. Okay, now this is a list and everything is separated by comma, right? You know that in list everything is separated by comma, and I can find out each of this URL from index 1 to 20. 1 to 19, I'm sorry. So what I say print links dot get href. Okay, so if I just don't do this, if I say this, you see here, what am I getting? I'm getting complete stuff. I mean, I'm not getting just the content, right? I'm getting completely. Now if I say print and then I say links dot, what's that, just a second, get, and then if I say href, which means to say that I'm saying in this links, in each of these links, just pull me the href part of it. Okay, see here, in each of these links I'm just pulling the href part of it. And also, just to give you a perspective, right, I might not have see, I am not definitely talking about complete functionality within BeautifulSoup. I'm just giving you a high level overview. The rest of it you'll have to explore while you are actually scrapping it. So as and when I scrap, even I don't remember everything. As and when I scrap, I go and read the documentation of BeautifulSoup in python.docs.org, and then whatever I need, I just pull it out from there. I remember the basic stuff. I mean, find all, get, etc. I know how to traverse to an HTML, but there are better functionalities available. And for all those, what you have to do is you just have to visit python.docs.org and see what fits best for your case. Okay, so moving on. Yep, here it goes. So that's about sample scrapping. Inspect the page source, and you have seen that as well. Okay, we have seen this. We have seen this. Now project discussions. Okay, let's scrap IMDb to find out top movies released during 2005 to 2014, sorted by the number of user votes. Okay, this is something which we'll do now. We need to pull title, year, genre, runtime, rating, image source info for the movies. Okay, so let's go to the base IMDb search. Excuse me, guys. Okay, now why am I not? I mean, this is the problem with PDFs. Can't even copy at times. Okay. Okay. So basically, I go to this imdb.com and I'm trying to search a movie. Now, here I say feature film. Okay, good. And I say 2005-11. Okay. Okay, 10:1 user rating. Okay, I think it should be good. And when I say search, I get this movie, right? Wow, Interstellar is running #1. I gotta watch this movie. Okay, so anyways. So what I just did was, I'm just going through imdb.com and I'm trying to search the best movies here. So it's just giving me Interstellar is 8.9 out of 10, awesome rating. And the Hunger Games, okay, this is also a lot of movies that I need to catch up on. Anyways, so here is I'm just taking this URL, okay. I'll just take this URL and you see most voted feature film released 1 January 2005 2014 with user rating between 1 and 10, right? So this is the most voted, okay, most popular. Now I want to scrap this data. So what I do is let me go ahead and do an inspect element. So now I want all this information, right? What are the information that I wanted? I wanted this information: title, year, genre, runtime, rating, image source for the particular movies, right? So instead of doing all this, now if you want all this in a, let's say for example in a flat file, right? You want list of top 500 movies of all time. How do you do it? You cannot just go ahead and copy, go to IMDb and copy it. So let me scrap that for you. Okay, so these are some of the details that I want: user, rating, you see, user, rating, genre, runtime, so on and so forth. Okay. Now let me open my code. There are two code that I have written for the same stuff. Okay, the first is complicated code wherein I've used the same URL. Okay, I'm using the same URL here. I can also give the base URL and build this complete URL, but it's not needed for now. For explaining purpose, I'm just taking this and I've copied and pasted it here. Okay, URL. I'm opening that URL. I'm reading that URL, putting that into BeautifulSoup, and then I'm finding the children in that soup as table and results, and then I'm iterating through that movies for table and results and finding the children with TR, okay, and then I'm iterating in that. I'm moving inside that in the iter movies. I'm just looping inside, and then I'm finding image source, movie, title, and using a lot of functions. Okay, it looks a little complicated, and yes, it is. I mean, this is when I started writing this code, right? I did not realize that it can be written in much simpler way, so I wrote this. Okay, so which is good enough, right? It's a good code, but look at the number of lines code I've written. It's too much, right? And then I realized, I don't need to do that. BeautifulSoup is much more powerful than that. So what I did was I wrote this. It's the same thing. See, the Dark Knight action crime, 152 minutes and 9 rating. It's the same thing. I mean, this is formatted a little more. Okay, I could have done formatting here as well. It's no big deal in my other code as well. It's little formatted. This is not so much formatted, but it does the same job, right? How many lines of code did I write? Hardly 10 lines of code, and it's doing the same thing wherein I have written like 20, 30, 40 lines. So let me explain you the easier code now. So I'm just reading this till here. It's the same. Putting that into HTML for movies in find all, TD and title. Now I'll just show to you as to what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay, so basically what I do here is, let me explain the code: TD and title. Okay, I'm finding all the TD and title. Now when I do a find all, it returns a list. Remember that. Now in that list, I'm saying movie.find and a contents of 0. Okay, so let it run for some time. And what did I do here? I'm just going to explain to you in a notepad. So basically, you see here, with TD and title, right? TD and title, I found out everything which starts with TD and title. So you see here what it will end, see here TD title, right? Everything with TD title, TD title. Okay, I found out everything using TD and title. Now the next step, okay, I'm saying find of A in that, and then I found out A in that. Okay, I'm finding all the A inside that, and I'm finding contents of 0 on that A. So if you look at this, you see here A, find all A's, I found out all the A's, but I'm just taking contents of 0, the Dark Knight. Make sense, guys? Let me just show it to you. Okay, let me run this. I found out all the A's. Okay, yes, you see, these are all the A's. Okay, here A itself. First is Dark Knight, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, so on and so forth. Okay, and I'm saying just take the contents of 0, because again, anyways, I'm looping through it, right, for each of those, and I want to find out each of this individually. So I just take the Dark Knight, and then I say contents of 0, which is nothing. And now moving on, find all of A. Let me run this now, and here you go. So basically, I'm just pulling out the first. Okay, I'm not even printing the title, right? Okay, sorry. Print. Okay, now what did I do? You see here, I'm just pulling out Dark Knight from this place and printing it here. Okay, so that's what I have done, and it will loop on for each of these values, because it's in for loop. It will print everything one by one. So likewise, I have done for genres, runtime, ratings, and finally I'm printing title, genres, runtime, and rating. Okay, yep, done. So how does this look, guys? Able to understand? Is it difficult? Are you able to follow me, guys? Okay, I'll take that as yes. Okay, you're able to at least hear me, right? Okay, okay. Thanks, Mohammed. So basically, that's about IMDb. Building main logic, I just explained to you. Closing thoughts. We can write the output to CSV. We can alter the search query to range for longer periods, say 1960 till date, right? That's up to us. We can include other info from page like user voting, etc. Other packages like Scrapy, Mechanize should be explored. I mean, you can go ahead and explore Scrapy and Mechanize as well. BeautifulSoup is definitely one of the most popular one, but there are other better packages as well if you want to explore, right? Scrapy is one. It's a good package. Just go ahead and explore it. I am currently working with Scrapy because with BeautifulSoup there are certain limitations that I wanted to get around with it, and so I started using Scrapy. So where web scraping can be used, it's used for business and personal requirement are endless, right? I mean, for anything, you might use it for anything. Let's say you want to know competitors' product, right? Let's say you are Dell and you want to know Lenovo's product and pricing, etc., you can just scrap the web and then do a comparative study and know what are the pricing for a particular model, and then have yourself do competitive pricing as well for those products. Gathering data for analysis from single to multiple sources can be done. Some books price can be fetched from different sellers like Amazon, Snapdeal, Flipkart, etc. So how do you think all this insurance compare and other products work? They just do this comparison, right? They pull out the data from different websites and then they do comparison and sell the data to you. Scrapping. I know one company, okay, I was discussing this with my friend yesterday, and then they started just with scrapping website and they're a 1,000 crore company right now. Okay, just imagine the scope of work. They just used to do, I mean, they just started with scrapping. They just do scrapping and nothing else. It's amazing. It's so powerful. Now I don't know whether I'm supposed to reveal the name or not. My friend is still working. It's based out of Mumbai, so I might maybe send you a separate email, Mohammed, on that. Okay, they just do scrapping. Okay, no problem, Mohammed. You can scrap Craigslist, Yellow Pages, and provide insights about service offered by different vendors. So maybe you want to try your hand in this as well. Just scrapping, building something of your own. For research purpose, data is integral part of research, right? You need lots of data. How do you get it? You can scrap it. Scrap from Google. You can crawl, scrap, do whatever you want to do. Web Scrapper will help gather structured data from multiple sources. For marketing, right? You can just scrap the data from LinkedIn for names, etc. And and not just you can scrap other sources as well. There are many sources in internet to be scrapped. Can be used for market analysis, data collection. Most data science applications require a variety of diverse data in the volume of web scale. Web scraping is one of the most sophisticated and powerful way to collect data. Okay. Now there is one more problem statement. I'll quickly run through this. We have to find out which is more popular, Ferrari or Porsche, Python or Java. Problem statement is build an application to pull streaming data from Twitter with taking the following inputs from user. Okay, total number of tweets to be pulled, and this is not something, I'm not pulling the past data. Okay, I'll be pulling the live data right now, and then doing a small sentiment analysis. Total number of tweets to be pulled, this is what I would mention in my code. If the number is reached, the application should terminate itself, and user should be able to enter keywords of its choice. Let's say I want to enter Obama, Ferrari, Porsche, Python, Java, whatever. And once tweets are fetched, we need to do a sentiment analysis and do a comparison. Okay, so this is the flow. Write this streaming tweets to the text file for later use in sentiment analysis. I'll have to write that in the text file as well after pulling the data from Twitter. Also output the user screen name. That's what I'll have to output. And for sentiment analysis, I have two files will be supplied, one with positive sentiment words and other with negative sentiment words. These files are not having all the words in them, but should work as a basic sentiment analyzer. Okay, two files will be supplied. So basically it's the same thing, right? One with positive, and based on that we'll determine whether the sentiment is positive, negative, or semi-positive. And text of the tweets, positive word count, negative word count, and sentiment should work on basic sentiment analyzer. Now if you have to do a high level sentiment analysis, right, then you would need to use natural language programming, which I have not used. Okay, that's a different subject altogether, and it's a 6 months course. So we have not included that as part of our Python program, because natural language programming is a subject in itself, which can be done through, again, Python as well. Each tweet should be positive, negative, or neutral. Let's see how we do that. Guys, today we'll not take break because we'll just finish it. That's not a lot more to cover until unless if you have a lot of questions, then I would like to take a break. But if you do not have a lot of questions, I'll just finish it off and explain to you as to how you will get your certificate and stuff, and then we'll close it. Today anyway being the last class, it's just discussions about projects. That's it, and nothing else. Okay, so let me run this for you first. It's trying to, for the first time, right? It tries to connect to Twitter, and then there has to be a proper handshake, right? I send a request to Twitter using my credentials. They try to authenticate the proper user and stuff, and that's why it takes a lot of time. Let's see. Now it's searching for word Java, okay, right now in Twitter. So it might take a little more time. If I were to have given some politician's name, it would have been easy. Okay, scripting, see your QA, test engineer, Perl, JavaScript, Cisco, Firewall, San Jose, PLSQL, database developer, SQL Unix, detailed skill needed. So basically, people are posting jobs right now, okay, on Java, Python. This is just for Java, okay. New tweets arrived, new tweets, these are all new tweets. And now you came to see me at Java. I'm so grateful for that. You are incredible, beautiful, and I think you're so cool. Keep doing that. So Java is a place right now. Okay, so 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it'll do a sentiment analysis. It's still going on. I think it has pulled 9. Or after Java, it will start pulling data for Python as well. So this will go on for some time. See here, it says that overall sentiment neutral, right? I mean, no one says good or bad thing about Java, right? So it's neutral. It's neither good nor bad. Now let's look at Python. The future of asynchronous input-output in Python. Okay. So basically, I'm just pulling all this data. People are tweeting right now live, and I'm just pulling their tweets. So basically, if you go to twitter.com and then you search for something, right, it's doing the same exact thing. Okay, and then trouble with a simple Reddit bot using Python and attribute error. Now people have these questions, so I can go ahead and fix it as well. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, a Python code security analyzer. So it's just Python for pen testers, starts with a very basic scripting language, blah blah blah. So basically, people are tweeting right now, okay, and this is the screen name of that person. Tweeted Twitter from Windows Phone, iPad, source of stream, round team, RSS to TWI, right? So source data trend, now Python scrapping, Django, Python hiring carriers. So basically, all these people are searching for good data on scraping. So let's look at it. They're also looking for candidates for Django. So big lot of opportunities, okay, if you are looking for a job in this area. Now, going back to the code, okay, it will continue what it is doing. Let me explain you as to how the code looks like. I've used quite a lot of package, okay. Here, it is a little complicated. I'll share this code with you, with all of you, and you can have a look at it, okay. So basically, this is my tweets listener. I have defined a class now. It's an object-oriented programming that I have tried to do here. Okay. So first thing what I do here is I'm just counting the count. Okay. Global. I've defined as global variable. You remember from your first or second global variables. So now not from here. Let me start from the main. Okay. Main. So I've just defined some global variable here. Search words is whatever input that I just gave. I gave 2 input, right? And I also gave the total tweet counts. And search words, it splits by comma. See, if you remember, two different words separated by comma. Okay, so it's that, and I have three labels: positive, negative, neutral, color, yellow, green, light green, gold. So basically at the end of this, it is supposed to, okay, so basically this is not needed actually. I started with trying to draw a graph as well, but it does not draw a graph. Okay, and then search tweets is, see, these are my user and password information of Twitter API. Okay, so you have to go to dev.twitter.com and get this for yourselves. This is mine, and even while I'm sharing this, I'm not going to give this to you because I do a lot of stuff in Twitter and I keep posting stuff and stuff. Okay, and so this is Twitter authentication, Twitter access. You have to pass all this consumer key and consumer secret that Twitter gives you so as to do a proper handshake, and then you have to set access token as well, which also Twitter gives you. Okay, and then now this is my text file wherein I will be storing the data in write mode. I've opened that file in write mode. I'm creating a file for each of the tweets. Now tweet stream is, I've started a listener here. Now basically these are package specific. I have used TP. If you see here, I've used TP, stream OAU handler and stream listener. Okay. So basically what I have done here is, where's that? Where was I? Main, where's my main? Okay. So here it says search tweets, right? After all this, it says search tweets and it goes here. It is internally called from TP. See here, I don't have to explicitly call it. It is called using stream, and OAuth handler is authentication handler. This will authenticate your whole process, and your stream and stream listener are the one which will return you. Okay. Let me just explain and you'll be able to understand. So these are my accesses. I'm using tweet listener, and then I'm using tweet stream. Okay, and then you see I'm using the stream, using authentication, whatever has been done, and tweet listener. And in that one list, I have appended the individual here in search list, search word list, which is nothing but this one, whatever Python and Java that I entered. The Python and Java I'm taking individually here, and then I'm passing it to my one list here into that Twitter stream. So basically in the Twitter stream, I'm filtering all other data with this data. So it will just pull me Java's data, and languages is English. Okay. And after doing that, I'm calling drawing. So basically it does not draw. Okay. There is some problem with this code. It does not draw as yet. I'll fix this. So I'm drawing positive, negative, and neutral, and I'm just trying to draw a graph. Okay, what is the sentiment? What's the total positive sentiment? What's the total negative sentiment? And then just draw a simple graph, plot a simple graph here. It's not doing that, which I'll fix and send it to you. Okay, it just draw a bar graph, that circle type graph. It's not called bar graph. What's that called? The graph which in Excel you can draw a circular graph, right? Bar is something like this. I don't know I forgot the name. Anyways, don't worry about it. I'll just fix it and send it to you guys. Okay. In the meantime, I will be sending to you immediately as well. You can have a look. Try to fix it yourself on drawing the graph. It does not plot the graph right now. I don't know. When I started with it, it used to draw, and then suddenly it stopped working. So I have not even tried to fix it. After that, I do a simple sentiment analysis. Okay, so I'll give you a brief idea as to what I'm trying to do. What I do is I take each of these tweets. Okay, each of these tweets, I separate each of these as words. Okay, each of these as words, and I have two sets of data here. Okay, you see a tweet sentiment Java. This is what I just pulled right now. And why does not it open? Okay, you see here 10 tweets, right? So each of these tweets, I'm trying to find out whether it's neutral, negative, or positive, whatever. Okay, most of it are neutral, so it will come as neutral. Now, in each of these tweets, what I do is I split each of these words. Now, let me try to find out my positive words. See, these are the list of my positive words. These are the list of my negative words. Okay, so what I do is I take my tweet from this and match it with either positive or negative. Okay, two files, and whichever it matches, I just make sure that tweet is named in that manner. If it matches positive, if there are many positives, let's say there are 10 words and 6 are positives and 4 are negatives, then it becomes positive. If there are 6 negatives and 4 positives, it becomes negatives, and so on and so forth. So I take sentence, split word by word, compare word by word against the files that I have here, and then finally come out with a sentiment. Okay, that's all I'm doing. So basically, see these positive words, I just split everything. I just take positive words, these are negative words, and I just read the tweets, I convert them into lowercase, okay, and then tweets, okay, and you see the tweets process, I split it based on the spaces, I split every word, and then I check for those words in words, whether it's positive or and then I continue to increase the counter, okay. And finally, I do a comparison, and then I say whether it's positive, neutral, or negative. The one logic that I've used here is, see, there might be many words which I have not used in my positive and negative sentiment, right, in my word list. Let's say I've used 1,000 words. Now, in English language, there are more than 1,000 words, right? There are millions of words. So what I've done is, for words which are not available here, right, I consider them as neutral, okay? And so, for every positive or negative, I increment 1, whichever I find, I increment 1. But for neutral, I just increment by 0.5. Otherwise, my every tweet will be a neutral tweet. You get that, right? Let's say someone wrote something which is not there in my list of words, then it automatically becomes neutral. So that's why I had to increment this by 0.5. Otherwise, all my tweets are showing up as neutral. Okay, and finally I get this semi-positive for Python. I mean, Python is a name of the place as well, so people are giving a review of that place. I decided Thanksgiving vacation in Sky Cabin to learn more Python. Okay, good. Python wrapping itself around a dove in small buffalo thorn. I don't know what is that. So this is recruiter guru wants some Python job.